Hi, this is Christy Gatewood from Inez Consulting of Wilmer. I'll be your guide today as we explore the innovative new pit barn built at Wendlandt Farms, just north of Paynesville, Minnesota. Construction for this project began in April of 2022, and cattle were being moved into the barn by September of 2022. This barn features the Lely Vector Feed System, Dairy Power Smart Slurry Aeration System, AeroQuip hydraulic chutes, the point system from Scale Tech, and this farm uses Performance Beef Tracking System to keep an inventory of all the cattle going through this site. We interviewed Jake Moline and Kirk Larson from Leadstone, Mike Hansen from Hansen Silo, and Mike Wendlandt from Wendlandt Farms to explore the innovative new technologies put into this barn.
Hi, I'm Jake Moline, representing Lely and Leadstone.
I'm Kirk Larson, representing Lely and Wheatstone. I do the farm products project coordinator.
So, this is a vector system. Everything here all together is called a vector system. What everybody thinks is the vector is what we call the MFR, the mixing feeding robot. All the components that are here to go together to fill this is what we call a vector system. There are 4 of these feeding beef cattle in Minnesota, and there are 8 of them dairy. Technology that the vector system provides Wendlandt Farms here is what we call feed for need. This robot is going to go out every hour, and it's going to identify the level of feed in front of the feed pens. There's 8 different pens in this farm. They can change the setting. If that level falls below what the farm would like to have in front of it, it's going to come back here and it's going to make another mix. And it's going to go back out. This little red laser right here is what is identifying whether or not it needs to just push the feed up or if it needs to come back and make a new batch for a different pen. We keep all the feed stored so we're not getting any of the shrink from the sun, the birds, anything like that. All where it belongs until it gets dumped at the bunk in a small level. So the vector on its last trip out identified that this pen of cattle needed fresh feed. It went back to the kitchen, it put it together, it mixed it up, traditional post mix like a regular PMR, and it came out here and it's making the delivery now. Small machine, it's not impressive equipment wise, but it's got 24 hours a day to do this. It's only job. We're feeding about 700 steers here on this farm at probably $5 in electricity a day. Can't turn the key on a tractor for diesel fuel for $5. It's also bringing fresh feed, so it's stimulating the cattle to come up. And when it is not feeding, the skirt on the bottom down there is pushing up the feed at the other feed fences.
So as you see down here, there is a power port. So when it gets back to the feed kitchen, it runs off line power, 240 volt AC. So when it comes out here, it's got 4 12-volt deep cycle batteries in it. So it's a 52 volt system. So it powers VFDs inside to run the screw with the silicon roller as it's feeding. And when it's back in the kitchen processing feed, plugged into the line power. So we got back here, one of the fences did require feed at it, so you see the grabber there. There's 4 corners in here for different locations of feed. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a laser that tells us how high the feed is in the storage location. So it knows how far down to the grabber. And then as it picks up feed, it estimates the weight. And then the final weight is actually tallied by the MF.
Mike Hansen Silo. We worked with the Wendlandt family on the new cattle barn that we see here. It's 106 wide by 204 long with the center drive over. And we did the slats, the beams, the center drive over, the rubber mats, and the bubbler. we'll move on to our manure aeration system, commonly referred to as the bubbler. And it's got 4 rotator valves that switch, and it runs air down these 2-inch lines into the bottom of the pit, and then it bubbles up through these duckbills and a vacuum pump in this building that we'll see next. So the air bubbles cause thorough mixing of the solids and giving the pit consistency, and the aerobic bacteria digest toxins and ammonia, which in turn increases the nitrogen. On the rubber mats that are fastened down to our precast concrete slabs, have you noticed a pretty good performance there on the traction?
Yeah, they're very sure-footed inside the barn. On the slide itself, it does a very good job. The manure goes through it. The ice does build up on some cold days, but it doesn't take much of a warm day at all, and the ice is all gone. So, I mean, cattle appearance, cattle health, I think everything has been really good with these slats.
And this is it's a DRI double button premium rubber product that we sell, and we've had good luck with it at other customers too. But you know, it's not the lowest priced one out there, but it's definitely it's a quality woven. There's actually cords in there similar to a tire, so the longevity is going to be better.
Right, that's what we were looking for, was longevity and most of the cattle health, cattle, all that. So
Yep,
that's what we were looking for.
the comfort.
Cattle comfort was good.
And obviously the weather today is a typical March day, but I'm not hearing a lot of coughing, and the air quality is really nice. And
Right, that was one of our biggest concerns with our vet with the active with the active bubbler, was that solid, that slow release of methane over time. You know, that hasn't been an issue at all.
because of instead of having a crust that can crack on its own, and then you get a
Right.
direct shot of
Right.
gas.
You get to build up that wall at one time, where we haven't even noticed any of the air quality.
Yeah, more of a fluid state.
Right.
Would we tour 5 different sites?
Yep, 5 different sites with different rubber, different ways of feeding everything, and
No 2 are really the same. So
No.
it's kind of up to the farmer to
Right.
figure out what your goals are, what your budget is, and then putting it together, making it all happen.
yeah, and that's especially with this barn with the Laley robot, the bubbler, the technology. It's kind of the first of its kind built and put together as one. So it was just a big thing to come together, and Hans did a good job with working with everyone else on the construction of the building.
Not necessarily your lowest cost per head. Obviously, an outdoor lot is going to beat that. But you have how many animals with one main person?
Yeah, so we
How many
increased,
animals are you taking care of?
we increased 700 head on the farm with limited extra labor. So that was probably the biggest thing on this entire barn, was labor and animal health and all that. So one quarter, that's one of the biggest things that we might be working on. Animal health and comfort. So yeah, for us to make this expansion, we would have had to buy a new TMR, a bigger, to have this many more cattle on hand. We would have needed a new tractor and everything. So by using technology at our power, we were able to accomplish all of that. And I don't feel like we have that much more invested in just a regular expansion. And by utilizing this and saving on the labor and all that, it helped us focus on cattle, family, things of that nature.
As far as expansion goes, how many cattle did you have before, and how many are you up to now?
For this, we probably raised about 300 head. Majority of it, we were crop farmers. And we went into this, and we are a cattle first farmer. and now we're probably closer to the 1,100 mark on various sites. So it was a pretty big expansion, where labor was one of the biggest, one of the biggest hurdles to try to figure out.
Yeah, that's a good point too, because if this was bed pack, you'd be doing manure every week or at least with bedding.
We'd be bedding every day. With this amount of animals, we wouldn't have enough corn ground too. We have to buy corn straw or some alternative bedding just to handle this kind of animal. So that was huge by itself, with the no bedding, the no cleaning, moving cattle around. I mean, bed packs have their purpose, but this is one of the things that we find out is better. So
One of the things that we've heard from other customers is with increased pricing on all the stuff, the cost of doing the bed pack. It used to be a huge savings.
Right.
The slats were expensive, and now it's negligible.
well, I mean, we think about that bale of straw. It takes time in the field, bale it, chop it, bring it home, store it, and then we have to deliver it to the cattle. Then we have to actually take it back out as well. So there's a lot of labor that goes into a bed pack facility. And diesel fuel, yes. I mean, it's labor by that itself, and
Versus
having the option of having no bedding, still having performance with good clean cattle. I feel like for us it was a good call to go that way
on the slats.
on the slat side.
Yeah. And I was intending, or just meaning on the initial construction, but you brought up some great points on the operation of it too.
As far as feeding goes, how much time do you spend in the actual feed mixing versus what you think you would do without the Lely system?
With this barn, with the Lely system, with the various rations in the barn, as we sit here, we got 5 different rations running right now. I would think it would take 4 hours of man hour, just 4 hours to mixing and delivering, without even the accuracy of having the different rations. So right now, we're probably spending 45 to an hour and a half every day, filling the kitchen, bringing the materials up for the Lely machine, and the rest of it pretty much is. The rest of that time is spent with animal husbandry and animal health. So spending the time with the cattle instead of just trying to feed the cattle.
That's a good point. And I think the max that I've heard is about, there's technology available to have up to like 3 days of storage in the live bottom bins that would supply the robot too.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we've had a couple snowstorms this winter where we did pack it in and we had 48 hours to 3 days of feed in this building where we didn't have to run the skid loader outside. And that just allows us to do other things with the snowstorm. Actually makes you want to have to do something else. Yeah, aerial slip chute, hydraulic chute, with Spaniard welding, double alleyway with a converter box with the scale all in one. And we have a splitter over there, so when the cattle run through here, we can weigh them, bring them back to their pens, or we can weigh them and bring them right to the semi as well. So that's actually really nice. This area here, most barns that we looked at didn't have an area to work cattle in. And that was one of our biggest things with limited labor, limited time, how we work more cattle faster, smoother, safer for us and the cattle. So we went this route and we probably ran, I would say, close to 2,000 cattle through the chute, 2,000 animals through the chute system, with 0 injuries, no cattle injuries, no nothing. It's been really nice.